So you need to go to your bank, all right? The World Bank and the IMF are giving insane warnings, and they're telling people what's coming next, right? Coming very soon, and we do not have much time to react to the situation. We need to get ourselves in better financial situations, and we need to also go to our banks and get our finances in order and get cash, all right, ASAP, because things are going to get a lot worse. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's like, why pay my bills or why do this or that if things get worse? They are still going to sue you, try to get whatever they can from you, get whatever money they are owed from you, any ways possible, all right? They're not going to just stop just because there's a meltdown, all right? We've seen this through the past 2 years. There was a little bit of leeway, but then after about a year or so, a lot of companies started suing people and wanted their money. All right, they're sick and not getting paid. So it's not just going to go away if we have a giant financial collapse. It's just going to be a big burden on you while we are in a recession. All right, so get your finances in order, get your house in order, get your money in order, get cash now, all right? You don't have to have a ton, but have some cash in case a cyber attack hits a bank, in case you get locked out of your bank, something happens, there's a run on the banks, there's massive hyperinflation overnight, who knows, all right? So let's get into what the World Bank and the IMF are saying, because they're both giving insane statements, and it's something that we need to look at and we need to get prepared for. So we'll start with the World Bank. They gave this statement a little bit ago, but I wanted to recap because the IMF just came out too and gave a very grave statement. So the World Bank slashes global growth forecast to 2.9% and warns of 1970 style stagflation. All right. So they're warning of stagflation, where essentially, I'm sure you know what it is, but I just want to talk about it because it's just devastating to the economy, where you have inflation, all right? Things are going up in price. There's high unemployment, but there's no growth in the economy, all right? There's no growth at all, no GDP growth. So from inflation, it normally pushes the GDP a little bit higher because things cost a little bit more. So it technically, your GDP is higher, all right? But with stagflation, there is no growth in the economy. The unemployment rate's so high, and there's not enough goods potentially to be bought. And the price of things just keep going up. It's more of a scarcity issue instead of a supply and demand issue and a monetary issue, right? I mean, it's more of a monetary issue too. So this is very serious. We need to get ready for stagflation potentially. And the IMF is also warning that, quote, the worst is yet to come. The worst is yet to come. So it says, for many people, 2023 will be a recession. All right, that's what the IMF is saying. And also, global economic models are warning that the United States will potentially 100%. That's what they're saying. I don't know how they can say it with 100%, 99.99%. But their economic models are saying 100% chance of a recession happening in the United States. All right, so that's what major economic models are saying. Mainstream news is saying this. It's very strange they're coming out and saying this, the timing and everything, but it's just reality. It's what's happening with the economy. You can't really hide from it, of what's coming next, all right? So the IMF is saying that, quote, the worst is yet to come. So we think we're struggling now. We think inflation's bad now. We could see massive stagflation, right? Which would be, it kind of feels like we are already in that. We have negative GDP growth, very slow growth, but also inflated goods and inflated prices on everything. So it kind of feels like we are already in a stagflation scenario, if you ask me, all right? And they said that they slashed global growth projections even more, all right? That's why he's coming out and giving this warning, and he's saying besides the global financial crisis of 2008 and the peak of the pandemic, this is, quote, the weakest growth profile since 2001. That's what he's saying, the head of the IMF. And the IMF is a branch of the United Nations as well. All right, so this is essentially world government, world banking systems coming out and saying that we are going to see things get a lot worse. All right, and it's kind of like, who's pulling the strings? All right, they know it's getting worse. Why isn't anything changing? Why hasn't anything happened? It seems like the only moves that are being made are just to make things even worse. All right, so I don't understand. 2023, they're saying definitely going to be a recession, 100% chance, and there's no moves being made for relief. Here's another quote from the IMF chief. He said, next year is going to feel painful. All right, there's going to be a lot of slowdown and economic pain. That was all quote, going to feel painful. All right, so they're just telling us, all right, I don't think it'll really feel painful for him, for most of the elites. It probably doesn't really matter if food prices double or triple, or if inflation inflates your money to the point where it just causes things to double or triple in price. You know what I mean? It's not even shortages or supply chain issues with fertilizer or sanctions. It's just pure inflation on the monetary system, on the dollar. And that's coming, all right? It's going to feel painful. I don't think they're going to feel it, though. I think it's going to mostly be left for just the regular people, for us, all right? That's what it's going to be left for, is just, it's going to be painful for us. They're still going to be flying on their jets. They're still going to be eating their lobster every day. You know what I mean? So, all right, look out, guys. It's going to be painful next year, all right? So get ready, get your finances in order. These companies could just jack up interest rates to whatever they want. I know a lot of things like a mortgage are fixed, but things like credit card debt and other types of loans, they really could just get screwy with the interest rates if they really wanted to. I'm sure most of your credit card companies have that in there, that they could just change their rates whenever they need to, whatever the market rate is. So we're already seeing like 33% credit card rates, all right? I've seen this before on credit cards, trying to like send me offers and stuff. So we could see 50% rates, all right, on credit cards. They could just jack it up. So get rid of your debt now while you still can. Get your finances in order. This is something that I'm working on too. I'm working on my finances, trying to work on being debt free, all right? It's a big step, and it's a good one to take, all right? My wife's working on the same thing. We're both working on this. We're trying to work together to get out of debt, all right? She has a lot of student loan debt. Thankfully, I don't have that, but it adds up quick, and it's hard to get out of it, all right? So let's get out of it now. They could just jack up interest rates or change the loan terms, make a call on loans, they could do a lot of crazy things that we've seen in the past but haven't been used in a while. So let me know what you guys think. What are you doing to get prepared, to get your finances in order? What do you think? What else can we do besides have cash? Even like having your money and other, things like gold, silver, stuff like that. I want to have something that I can use right now in case I'm locked out of these systems. You know what I mean? I can't access it. What's something that we could have right now that we can use to barter if there's some kind of lockout or some kind of financial collapse? What's the next best thing? What do you guys think? So thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a big old blessed day.